everyone, this is Nebecoin 77 here, and welcome back for some more Let's Play Half-Life 2. Yes, that is right, we're going back to Half-Life 2. And the reason for this is because recently, just the other day, it has just turned 20 years old. Yes, this game here, Half-Life 2, has finally had its 20th anniversary rolled around, where they had actually did quite a big update for this game, as well as making it also free to download and play on Steam. Well, for now, anyways. And I know what you're thinking. Well, we've already played and beaten this game a couple years back. I just thought it would be a nice time to pay tribute and come and do a little cool revisit to this game and see what cool new things and changes in celebration of its 20th anniversary. Now, obviously, we're not going to play through the whole game, but just play through parts of it and show off some new stuff that they have introduced. I can already see that they've added, some extras, and they have episode 1 and 2 all bundled up into this now, which is nice. But we're just gonna, for now, go to Half-Life 2, get started with a new game, and see what has changed here. We're gonna go and, because it looks like they've enabled developer commentary as well, which is also pretty neat. And, pretty curious to see the cool stuff that they've changed recently on here. So without further ado, let's just go back into it. Chapter 1, point insertion, and begin. Yes. Let's see. Curtis, by the Valve development team. Then use your use button. You'll be invulnerable to damage while listening to a note. Teammates cannot be earned. That's okay. Yes, we're back once again. Yeah, back into it. And it's hard to believe that it's already been over 2 years since we did our playthrough of this game. Now time flies.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman.
Oh.
Rise and shine.
Have the G-Man again.
Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until...
Yes. Black Mesa.
Well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Yes, wake up and smell the ashes. I guess I can tell already that there's a bit of a change in the graphics, which is pretty neat. You've got some new shaders working. Yes.
I didn't see you get on.
I didn't see you get on either. It just sort of appeared here. Was this graffiti always here as well, or no? It's just, yeah.
This is my third transfer this year.
We got the developer commentary here.
I'm Gabe Newell, and welcome back to Half-Life 2. It's been
welcome
a long
back.
20 years since its release. In this anniversary update, we've tried to respond to as many of the community's requests as possible. And while this might not be the absolute #1 request from fans, I often hear how much people would like a commentary mode, so we're excited to finally make that happen.
Nice.
Not only was it a challenge to remember many of the details of Half-Life 2's development, but it's not easy to crack open decades-old computer code and wonder what the hell you were thinking way back then.
That is true.
Along with the dev commentary, we've cleaned up a bunch of old bugs and tried to leave things in a better shape than we found them. And at least this time, we have the luxury of knowing how things turned out in the end. To listen to a commentary note, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. And please, let me know what you think. You can reach me at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun.
There you have it. Gabe Newell himself, the CEO of Valve, describing some of the new features that have been added, including this cool developer commentary mode. I like how even his email is Gabe N, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it does feel a bit weird coming back to this after the 2 years that it's already been that we did this playthrough. Like it's like I'm getting deja vu all over again. But we'll keep on
Physics objects.
reading what these saying.
It might be hard to remember it now, but back when Half-Life 2 came out, small objects in games, like these bits of trash,
Oh, this isn't Gabe.
usually
This is someone
static.
else.
As in, they didn't really move, or if they did, it was in a very simple way. If you were lucky, they might break apart into some sprites if you hit them. One of the goals for this initial train station section was to really make it clear to players that these kinds of things were properly, physically, actually being simulated in Half-Life 2. They could be picked up, dropped, thrown, broken, moved by other forces, you name it. Here we're starting with just a small thing, showing that trash is being blown by the arrival of the train, or, more specifically, an invisible volume that's triggered by the player leaving the train.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool actually. It's like they described the all the nice things that they wanted to show off with their physics engine.
Welcome.
And a nice
Welcome
little
to
detail that I never
72.
noticed was these
You
little
have chosen
trash
or been
talkie
chosen
boxes
to
or whatever the
relocate
hell
to
that are
one of
being
our
blown by the
finest
train.
remaining
And
urban
yeah, as you
centers.
can see, being able
I
to
thought
pick
so
up
much
and
of
throw
City
objects was
17 that
indeed
I
a thing that they
elected to
introduced
establish
and
my
definitely wanted to show off. But let's just
Train
read what
station.
some more of these say.
The beginning of a Half-Life game has a big job to do. We have to introduce players to a new world while teaching them how to interact with it. Players need to quickly grasp what's happening, who the key players are, what threats they face, and how they fit into it all. Above all else, it has to be as fun and interactive as possible. Nailing this takes a lot of iteration and play testing, especially on the
yes.
small moments that make up a bigger picture of
That
the
is
game.
true.
In this section, we'll highlight some key moments, game design problems, and a few play tests where things didn't quite go as planned.
Now, obviously, we're not going to have time to read all of these developer commentary little speech bubbles here, but yeah, it's still pretty cool that they have them.
All right, I'm moving.
And you can see
Metro
what
Cop
these
shoving.
things are saying. I think, yeah, hitting
Welcome.
use again will
Welcome
cancel
to
that
City
out.
17. You have chosen.
You can see
or
our
been chosen
Vortigaunt
to
friend
relocate
still
to
being
one of our
enslaved,
finest remaining
unfortunately,
urban
just
centers.
being forced to do
I thought
mop-up
so much
work
of
as he
City
does.
17 that
Sweeping
I
Vortigaunt.
Ooh,
Another key moment of storytelling, and another nod to the physics system. Here, we're showing how Vortigaunts fit into this new world, which is a big shift from their Half-Life 1 role as enemies.
that is true.
Like so many
Yes.
moments in Train Station, the Sweeping Vortigaunt came from our constant hunt for ways to show characters interacting naturally with the physics system. Why just tell players Vortigaunts are friendly now, when you can show one casually sweeping the floor and knocking around some simulated objects? Nothing signals, hey, don't shoot me this time around, like someone willing to tidy up.
Right. Yes, that's pretty cool, actually. And, you know, and this, of course, the developers here are going to explain it a hell of a lot
Metro
better
Cop
than I ever
shoving
could.
citizens.
But yeah, it's
We've
pretty
only
neat
walked a
that
few
they,
feet and we're
how
Welcome.
subtle they introduced all these new
Welcome to
features and
City
how
You're
they
the
want
only
the
ones
player
on
to
You have chosen or
the player
been
to
chosen
sort
to
of
relocate
get the
to one of
message
our
here
finest remaining urban
on certain
centers.
things and how they're going to
Citizens.
change.
When it came time to design the human citizens of City 17 and the
We'll
world
just let that
outside
play
the
as we
city,
keep on
we
exploring.
chose to include a variety of races, ages, and genders. This not only provided narrative context for the Combine's enslavement of all of humanity,
Yeah,
but it
there's
was
a lot
also
of these
important
speech
to
bubbles
us
here.
that anyone playing the game could see themselves represented in the Resistance, with everyone on Earth united against the Combine. While we found a number of
Like how
candidates to use
nervous
as reference
everyone
in
looks.
creating these citizens through our daily lives and connections, we ultimately resorted to advertising in the Seattle Times classifieds to reach the desired range of faces that we'd envisioned.
The Seattle Times. We're up here, back in here in the cafeteria. I like how nervous everyone looks, of course. Really does. They really did do a good job at setting the tone for the beginning. Right as you start off the beginning of the game here.
Welcome.
Setting the tone and what is
Welcome
happening
to
with the
City 17.
enslavement of the human race by the Combine and whatnot, and other stuff that has happened while Gordon had been away, trapped in the shadow realm, so to speak.
Early tech planning. Shipping a game always teaches us a lot. We finally get to
You can
find
see
out
more
which
of the
choices we made were good
Combine
ones,
here.
and which were ones we should do differently next time.
Storytelling.
Story time.
Creating
I
a
love
sense of
story time.
immersion was a core principle in our approach to Half-Life 1's storytelling, and it led us to the
Oh,
self-imposed
storytelling,
constraints of never, or at least very rarely, taking control away from the player and of keeping the player's avatar silent. These limitations made storytelling more challenging at times, but we felt it was important to stay with them for Half-Life 2. Our hope was that by maintaining these principles, we'd push ourselves to explore deeper, more interactive storytelling.
Right.
Got a standard relocation coupon just like everybody else.
Uh-oh. And here comes this part. Always a classic.
Characters.
Let's see what this guy says.
In Half-Life 1, security guards and scientists could best be described as archetypes.
We're gonna have to just ignore that. Because this epic part's coming up. Yeah, get out of here. Leave him with me.
I'm gonna need me some privacy for this.
Here it comes.
About that beer I owed you.
Yeah.
It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black
Let's
Mesa.
go.
Hey, sorry
Classic.
for the scare. I had to put on a show for the cameras. I've been working undercover with civil protection.
Been working
Can't take
undercover.
too longer. They'll get suspicious. I'm way behind on my beating quota.
Of course.
Yes, Barney,
Gotta beat him
what
up.
is it? I'm in the middle of a critical test.
Sorry,
Hello,
Doc,
Kleiner.
but look who's here.
Oh, pardon me.
Great Scott! Gordon Freeman!
Gordon Freeman.
More warning.
Yeah, you and me both, Doc. He was about to board the express to Nova Prospect.
Well, Barney, what do you intend?
I'm thinking.
Alex is around here somewhere. She would have a better idea how to get him here.
Well, as long as he stays away from checkpoints, we should be okay. Listen,
Yes.
I gotta go, Doc. We're taking enough chances as it is.
Very well. And, Gordon, good to see you.
Okay,
Yes.
Gordon. You're gonna have to make your own way to Dr. Kleiner's lab. Oh, man, that's what I was afraid of. Get in here, Gordon.
Oh,
Before
better
you blow
hurry.
my cover.
Yes.
Blocking tutorials. At times, we need to be certain the player has learned something, and the standard method, at least in game development, not
Oh
in
god,
life,
this guy
is
has
to
a
trap
bit
them
of a
behind
list.
a gate of some kind, where the player must demonstrate their knowledge to be able to continue. We try to disguise these gates as something natural, so it doesn't feel like the game has come to a halt. Of course, time, resources, or the environmental context itself can make that tricky. In this case, we needed to teach the players how to move objects, so a simple stacking puzzle seemed like the best solution. We tested more complex designs, but they ended up being less effective at teaching the actual thing we needed the player to learn.
Yes, the puzzle of stacking objects to be able to climb. Definitely something that they wanted to show off for sure. I think these boxes are a little bit too big for me to move around. At least until we get the gravity gun, where things become a lot more easier and more diverse in what we're able to move around in that regards. But yeah, still pretty
Blocking
cool. Let's see what this
tutorials
says real
too.
quick.
There are two failures of note in this tutorial. First, players can break it by tossing all the boxes out the window, which is obviously not great. This leaves them stuck and unable to continue,
We
which
got
we
our
consider a
ladders.
game-stopping bug that must be fixed. A clean solution would have been to
Blocking tutorials 3.
Yeah,
The
it's all
second
about
failure in this
tutorials and
tutorial
stuff.
space is a case of misteaching, where we accidentally teach the player something we didn't intend. This can be hard to avoid without extensive playtesting, since the game is always teaching, even when it's not by design. We cover a more extreme example of this later in Train Station. Some cases of misteaching are critical to fix, like if the player learns the wrong way to use a weapon or interact with a common element of the game. But this one was more subtle. While teaching players to move objects, we also taught them to stack physics objects to escape a space. Normally that's fine, except we don't deploy that puzzle later in the game, and teaching something irrelevant just clutters up their mental toolkit and makes it harder to readily keep useful things in mind later on. Worse, stacking objects to escape the play space become a problem later on, something we had to actively prevent in multiple areas. With so many physics-based objects in the game, blocking this behavior without putting ceilings everywhere wasn't really an option. In the end, we hoped players wouldn't overthink this early lesson, and when playtests showed players getting stuck later on, we made sure not to remind them of it.
Yeah, that's like another thing that's really neat is I think this was the first game that used the source engine with the new physics objects and whatnot. Some objects, as you can see, are a little bit more fragile than others. but still pretty neat. I like that one guy there in the developer
Fall
commentary had a
damage.
bit of a lisp.
Teaching players how to do things is
think
an
it was this
essential
guy.
thing for the game to do.
All right,
But for
last
them to
one,
make
guys.
confident decisions, they also need to understand the more subtle rules. This small moment covers two of those. First, it shows how far the player can fall without taking damage.
Yes.
Second, it introduces a bit of the game's vocabulary, how the game will communicate with them. Players often worry about taking fall damage, but they also worry about taking a step that they can't take back. So here, a welcoming crate to land on signals that dropping down is safe and it's the way forward. And when the crate breaks, it reinforces the physics simulation, and is likely the first time players will see that larger objects can be broken apart.
Yes, and now we have this iconic scene of picking up the can and put it in the garbage.
Contextualizing tutorials, creating a story
just put it in
scenario in
there.
which they happen, lets us do more than just stop the game to teach players something. We get to add narrative value to the moment. Here, teaching the player how to throw objects is combined with a narrative setup that gives them a choice in how to respond. After watching the Metro cops casually abuse citizens, it felt right to put the player in a similar position next. If they had opinions on how the citizens should have reacted, now they get to express them. Playtesting showed most players either complied or refused the request to pick up the can, but some tried to avoid the confrontation entirely. Others would comply initially, then retaliate after feeling humiliated. By keeping the moment relatively constrained in both terms of player actions and the space itself, we could generally react appropriately to whatever choice they made.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. It's different players are going to have different reactions on how to do that. I've seen a couple other playthroughs of people where they just literally throw the can at the guard there, only for the guard to promptly start attacking them, which is pretty funny. But we're going to go past these doors here. Should show, yep, the iconic town square of City 17. Oh yes, here it is. And with the, as well as the giant, super tall, imposing citadel in the background. Oh yes, it's all coming back to me now again. Now, I think it's this part, we're going to skip this part of the playthrough and continue off to somewhere more exciting. So we're gonna go back to the main menu here and start on a different chapter of the game where it starts to get more actiony. Yes, more shooty and whatnot. We'll play a bit of this one. And oh shit, I forgot to enable the commentary. No. We got to do that. Even though I won't have time to show all of it, but yeah, we'll go back to the commentary part there. Just pardon me, guys. Yeah, there we go. Route Canal. Yes, I know. Because what is revisiting good old Half-Life 2 without killing some head crabs with the crowbar and shooting some barnacles and yeah. Very good. Oh no, hey, stop them! Bastards.
They'll be looking for you now. You better run.
What is this thing
Metro
say?
Cop scene. This is another scene designed to make it clear that the Metro Cops are the bad guys. Except this time the player has a weapon and can finally do something about
variants
it. That something comes out of the barrel of a gun.
The Combine are called
We knew
Metro
we
Cops.
needed the player to feel righteous, and this moment was part of creating that. The Metro Cops are still human, unlike the rest of the Combine in the game, so we felt like we had to go the extra mile in making sure the player's actions felt like justice and not
We just
wrath.
stood there. Well, you know, if you're going to make my job easier for me, then go on right ahead.
Staircase. There are situations throughout the game that stem from simple and quite straightforward design goals, and this staircase features two of them. The first was to frame the Citadel as it awakened, showing the player they stirred up the hive. The second was to showcase our ragdoll system. While it's standard now, in 2004 it was still a novelty to see bodies tumble realistically, and stairs provided a perfect stage to make that happen.
Oh yeah, the ragdoll physics, yeah, back in 2004 it was everyone wanted to see, and this was a pretty good spot to demonstrate it, now wasn't it? We got the good old explosive barrels. Sure to shoot those. Oh, damn, my volume is a little on the high side. I was hoping that it wouldn't be too loud before I started recording, but it still seems like it is. So, turn this down. There we go. That's a bit better. But yeah, it's pretty neat.
Barrels.
We got the train
Here,
scene
we introduce
here.
explosive barrels, a staple of first-person shooters, but with a new twist. The second pistol shot sets the barrel on fire, starting a timed detonation. A third shot will detonate the barrel immediately. This way, players could either delay the explosion or trigger it right away, depending on the situation.
That is
Players
pretty
may
cool.
want to feed an explosive barrel to a barnacle and then shoot it twice as a handy way to safely dispatch a cluster of them. The delayed explosion also made for more interesting chain reactions between multiple barrels.
Right.
Exploding
Chain
barrels
reactions.
became favored in the series, but also were internally favored by level designers who often felt like the game could never have enough of them.
Another cool little attention to detail with their barrels, isn't it? Yep, indeed, it will catch fire before exploding. I guess we can see now why they did it that way. It's pretty neat. We have the lambda symbol secrets. I think this one's probably explaining.
Technically, the first lambda cache is at Kleiner's lab, but this is the first one the player finds on their own. We added lambda
Yes, talking about the
caches to
stashes.
the exploration and to hint players where hidden resources could be found, with the fiction being that they were being placed by the Resistance as part of their underground rebellion. In Half-Life, the contents of supply crates were predetermined by the level designer.
Overwatch. During development, we generated the Overwatch voice using a free text-to-speech tool.
I think the Overwatch was the
to use it, so we held voice
sniper.
to find someone who could match the qualities we liked. In
Either the sniper or the elite combine soldier, one or the other.
Exactly what we were looking for. In her session,
being shot at.
we generated lines for her to mimic, though.
Who does? Oh, it's you.
She was a bit sarcastic at first, given that she was being asked to replicate such a robotic delivery. But years later, when she returned for her iconic role as GLaDOS in Portal, she found a way to creatively integrate that tone into her performance. Pistol design. The standard pistol is the workhorse of the game, functioning not only as the first range weapon you learn to use, but also as a method to interact with physics and destructible objects at a safe distance for the entire game. To help make it feel more responsive and fun to use, the pistol employs a refire mechanic that's unique to it in the game. The gun will fire as fast as the player can click their input button, meaning that they feel an instant response to their input, and the faster they can click, the faster they can shoot.
Another little attention to detail that I always liked in this game was those two little bars that you see next to your crosshair in the middle of the screen there. The one on the right indicating how much ammo you have in your clip, and the one on the left, I think, indicates the, not your sprint, but something else. Something else that I always as you saw there, if we had left those barrels before, we would have been able to shoot them and make a lot of easy kills out of those guys back there. But yeah, pretty neat. I'm just going to keep on proceeding here. I think we'll go a little bit further until we start running into the barnacles. Then we'll fast forward a bit more into the story and play another part of the game that I always like But yeah, we have another lambda secret, or if you can call it that, because we kind of have to go this way. Anyways, so yeah, it's a bit redundant to put it that way, but it's nice to have a little bit of extra goodies to help us out either way. I mean, you could argue that this is near the beginning of the game, so it is a given that they would go easy on us. So there is that. It is understandable. The amount, especially with the amount of explosive barrels that they have. Again, a staple of first-person shooters, as the developers have stated. It's definitely true. But yeah, it's pretty neat coming back to this and seeing all the things that even 20 years later, after this game was first released, still pumping out those updates. So with that in mind, I'll definitely be sure to check out the workshop mode, since I've heard that they've added some cool new stuff on that as well. Because of that, this video will be a bit on the long side. Just want to try and make sure that I play some of this without playing too much, if you know what I mean. But really, with Half-Life 2, can you ever play too much? No, that's why I'm serious. It would be nice to have more guns than just the pistol. That's why we're probably gonna switch it up here pretty quick.
Iterative passes.
We'll see what this guy says.
Of the game, such as the on-foot sections of the canals in Ravenholm.
Yes, die.
Passes by different
yes.
We found that handing off maps in this way led to greater variety in the experience, and a higher density of interesting moments, as each Cabal added their unique touches to the maps.
Got some water.
In the on-foot portion of the canals, the first pass established the art direction and the player path, along with the broad strokes of the experience and some major beats.
A lot of stuff
to smash. The team-wide alpha playtest identified insufficient tension and a somewhat monotonous experience here. In our second pass, we returned to the map solely focused on creating that tension and greatly increased the density of moment-to-moment scenarios.
Water shader. The most complex shader we made for the game was the water shader, which made full use of the newly available...
yes, the water shading.
When water was present, the scene was rendered 3 times. First, the underwater world for refraction, second, a reflected view, and third, the parts above the water. When rendering the water surface, we blended the refractive and reflective views, showing more reflection at glancing angles using the Fresnel equation. We also tracked the ground depth below the water's surface, making it more transparent and less refractive in shallow areas. Additionally, we had to create 2 alternate water rendering techniques for lower-end graphics cards. Mid-range cards displayed a lower detail reflection without refraction or transparency, while low-end cards only rendered a partially transparent surface.
Yes, indeed. The water in this thing has always looked very nice. I think they did do a really good job with the water shading effects and stuff. And you can see how it's very similar with their other Source Engine games, such as Team Fortress 2, and how the water works. Although in Team Fortress 2, then, depending on the server that you play on, the water graphics do tend to glitch out a bit, and they'll show like reflection, like the reflection will glitch out and show reflections of the previous map that you're on. But other than that, it's still really good. It's still really good, clean and crisp. You can still sort of see what's in the water, unlike the first Half-Life game where you literally couldn't see what's inside of it. Well, sometimes. Sometimes you could, sometimes you couldn't. But even when the water is murky in this, you can see how it still looks a lot more lifelike, and with the reflections and the going on as well. Still pretty cool. Something that Half-Life 1 definitely did not have back then. So yeah, we drop down here. We're gonna just talk to these guys real quick.
Good thing you found us. You're not the first to come through here by...
This is the Freeman. The Combine.
Whoa, he scared me. He just came right up to my face.
Look,
yes,
we're
the
just a lookout for the Underground Railroad. Main station's right around the corner. They'll get you started on the right foot. Meanwhile, let my Vortigaunt friend here give you a jolt to get you going.
Give me a boost, buddy. Yes. Very nice. I mean, that was hardly anything, but I'll take it.
We really can't afford to get noticed.
Alright, let's see what this says.
This small scene originally featured 2 human characters, but later in development, we replaced one with a Vortigaunt. We wanted to show that Vortigaunts were coexisting with humans and resisting the Combine as well. We also introduced their ability to heal the player, although we didn't fully capitalize on that feature throughout the game. Vortigaunts became a useful narrative tool for keeping dialogue brief, as their hive mind justified their full knowledge of the world and the player's goals. This meant they never had to ask questions, neatly sidestepping the challenge of writing dialogue for a silent protagonist.
Yes, very good. The Vortigaunts being friends here. Interesting to know that they did originally have 2 humans trapped in here, hiding out, but replaced it with a Vortigaunt like that. That is pretty neat. I think that is probably the better way to go. But yeah, pretty good. I'm just gonna proceed a little bit further, and then I think that's pretty much it for this part of the game. I forget what they wanted me to do here again. It was some sort of oh, they just wanted to break this. Right. Oh shit. Like how they had like this stone here blocking the one hole, like they were trying to block me off. Those bastards trying to cut me off. Ah, here we go. Here we
Barnacle
have
introduction.
the barnacles.
Because barnacles can be confusing when first encountered, we wanted to introduce them in a way that showed players their behavior at a safe distance. We decided to do that through a nature show-style predator-prey scene. But, as always, scenes like this took a lot of iteration to get players to reliably see.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I always thought that they did a really good job was with the redesign of the barnacles in Half-Life 2 and how much more realistic they look. You can see all their little teeth and their claws out on the sides, and the way that they vomit up not only red blood but also green, or that green blood as well, is also a nice touch. But yeah, we have the barnacles here once again. They've never really been too much of a problem for me playing through the Half-Life games, to be honest. They're more of a nuisance than anything. Because once that ton that they have gives their position away, it's like, yeah, I already know what you're doing. And there was that one section here coming up with the multiple particles. That was also pretty cool, that you got the achievement if you were very resourceful using the explosive barrel to kill all of them at the same time. But I think that's going to have to do for this part of the game. So let's return to the main menu again and skip forward to a later part of the game and play a bit of that before we check out the workshop here. Because I know there is quite a fair bit of new stuff that they've introduced in here, aside from the developer commentary. I've noticed the graphics are a bit different as well. And it's also nice that they give us all the weapons that we should have at a certain point in the game as well. So yes, we boarded the hey, it's like we boarded the train to Nova Prospekt and we're already here. So, but yeah, I have to say, the Nova Prospekt, this part of the game has always probably been one of my favorite parts. Just coming through this old prison, finding all the old secrets that they were hiding. Of course, yeah, all the scary and sneaky head crabs hiding around, and of course the turrets. Playing around with the turrets is always been really good. And I think at this point in the game, yeah, the ant lions on our sides, which is also nice. I'd probably have to say this part and Ravenholm are probably two of my favorite parts of the game. I always like the Citadel near the end because you get the super gravity gun and all, but this part especially is really nice. Also, a lot of sorts of secrets that they hit as well. We're gonna check out these turrets. Hello, friends. Yes, go and get them. Hunt them down. Yes. I don't think we're going to quite get to the exact part where we use the turrets to help us out. But still pretty fun. And still make sure we have fun up in here to celebrate Half-Life's 20th anniversary. Make sure we have some fun with the gravity gun too, of course. Which is why we have it already pulled out. Thing is, what was the table there? I think that table's a little too big to come out of this room. Again, feels weird coming back to this game, already knowing that we already did a full playthrough of this over 2 years ago already. Hard to think that it's already been that long. Which, mind you, was pretty much just after I moved. Had the big move back in August of 2022. This being my first playthrough since then. Already hard to believe that we have come a long way since then, especially considering how well my playthrough of Half-Life 2 did, giving me all those extra juicy views and subscribers. I think even to this day, some of my videos on my Half-Life 2 playthrough have been my most viewed videos on my channel so far. And for that, I have this game to thank, as well as everyone at Valve, of course, and of course, my lovely viewers watching. Yes. Thank you all. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for all of you. But, yeah, pretty neat. I am forever thankful. Yes. And, caught by the barnacles once again. There sure are a lot of them around, but we'll just keep on waltzing on by them. Like I said, barnacles are not too much of a... Even when you get caught by the barnacle, you have time to react and shoot shoot its face off before it finally starts. Yes, hello. Yeah, hello there. So I'll just shoot one of those since I can't aim right now. So this is got the fast head crabs, the normal head crabs, and the poison head crabs. And, well, still no sign of Half-Life 3 anytime soon. I've heard that there is a fan-made game called Project Borealis, which gives a pretty good illustration on what Half-Life 3 was intended to be. Also introducing some new enemies, such as newer head crabs and a couple of new mechanics and stuff. I haven't really seen much into it, as just a couple of things, but yeah, it's from what I heard, it is pretty good. And if Valve ever does get around to making episode Half-Life 3, or even just episode 3 of Half-Life 2, I'm sure that is something that the community will be more than thankful of, especially after all of these years of waiting, and with Half-Life 2 Episode 2 being left off on a cliffhanger as well. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who don't know, but yeah, they really ended it off on a cliffhanger, and that's just how the way things have been for nearly 20 years now. A bit of a shame, but yeah, here's hoping that they will eventually get around to making at the very least Episode 3 of Half-Life 2. So that way they wouldn't be ended off on a cliff, won't leave us all ended off on a cliffhanger for so long. Because yeah, we have our rocket launcher, so we'll have fun with that a little bit. I like that explosion there. It's like you feel like that shooting something this close to you with an explosive projectile like the rocket launcher would also damage you as well. But nope, we're good. We're good, baby. We got our awesome Mark V armor to protect us, and we're good. Also, I'd like to apologize real quick, because I did something that I didn't realize until it was a little bit too late, but I did unfortunately have the shadows and shaders turned off when I initially did my playthrough of this game a little over 2 years ago, which made everything look a little bit odd without all the shadows and such, and oh, I'm gonna die here. Yeah, I'd like to, and I would like to apologize for that. I am sorry. I should have looked a little bit more into the console and stuff before playing. I also did try to use a different mic, but that didn't really help out either. So yeah, it is unfortunate, but you know, for old time's sake, which is as is. I mean, some people watching did seem to like it for some weird reason, so there was that as well. But yeah, it was definitely something I did want to point out here. It wasn't intentional, but you know, whatever works, I guess. And as you can see here, how it really does make having the shaders on really does make it look a lot more lively, especially with the lighting of the windows coming in here. It does look a lot better, to be honest. So yeah, sorry once again for not realizing that a bit sooner. Whilst I run for my life against this ant lion monster here. I forgot the big ones are still hostile. Yes. I think, if I remember correctly, I think I did record an episode before realizing that I did not have the mic turned on, so it was literally just a commentary-less episode, which is, yeah, something that I didn't really want to go back for, to redo over again, which was a bit unfortunate, but oh well. Now, what were we supposed to do here again? I think we were just supposed to run away from this thing. Oh yes, help me out, Ant Lion. Go, kill them, sick 'em, boy. Go get them. Yes, hunt them down. There you go. Where did all those other developer commentary bubbles go? I guess they're a little bit more scarce coming into the later parts of the game, and I just totally zapped that Ant Lion by accident. So yeah, sorry about that. Also, I figured out what these little things are called. These little things are called manhacks, apparently. As I've just been calling them wrong this whole time, and I'm about to die again. Oh, yeah, there I go. Kind of forgot how difficult things become later on in the game here, but yeah. We'll just try to get through this last section here before we move on. So yeah, we'll just revisiting this game, you know, not playing through the whole game, but the parts that are more memorable, so to speak. Maybe not memorable for some people on these parts that are there for other parts, but you know what I mean. We're gonna have some more fun with our gravity guns for sure now. We're at these baskets. Oh, it's a turret over there. That's what that is. Okay. Who else wants some of the power of my gravity gun? It didn't really come out the way that I wanted to, but we're gonna go with that. I also like how we can just pick up and toss around these manhacks with the gravity guns as well. It's also pretty neat. Let's go ahead and help our fellow ant lions here. Yep, just plow through them, my friends. Kill them off. Yeah. Oh shit. I'm just gonna hide back here. And, hello, anyone home? I'd like to open, please. Yes, yes. Let's see. Oh, right. Yeah, gravity gun for that part. And I'm still being shot at. Yes. You have to forgive me, guys. My reflexes are just not as quite as they used to be. Now that I'm starting to get a little bit old. Yes. See, even right there, when I press the trigger, we're still wasn't quite good enough. But oh well, you know, I think that's gonna have to be good enough for now. So we're gonna go return to the main menu one last time, and we're gonna check out the workshop. Yes, the workshop. I have to go back. Yeah, should be in the extras here. Half-Life 2 Lost Coast, I think, was the multiplayer, so we're just going to ignore that and check out the workshop here. And, I think that's, just browse through here then. I think this is just, like, custom stuff that you can add to the game and whatnot. Like, new skins and stuff. Yeah, we got zombie animation improvements. All sorts of cool stuff, but, yeah, it's, oh damn, 2,000 items! Let's look at G-Man, for example. Let's see what we got. Saul Goodman, wow. Yeah, a lot of silly stuff that you can add. Goku as G-Man, oh god. But still pretty cool. Let's look at, Dog next, as an example. Pretty neat how they added all this just recently as part of the 20th anniversary. This looks like some Russian knockoff or something. But yeah, pretty cool. And I think, yeah, it's, I'm not going to go too much into it, but all this looks like it's all free to download for those of you who want to use this. So yeah, all free to download as you see fit. Pretty neat. And, yeah, pretty cool. It's just really neat how there's after all these years, they still take pride into their games that are as old as this. I like how we can see the G-Man here. And I think it was actually on this screen itself that I started this playthrough, which is also pretty neat. Another nice memory coming back to fruition as well. And with all the nice shaders and whatnot, and it's pretty neat how they have it all bundled up. You can see we got episode 1. It should switch to the different background for this one. Because I do remember episode 1 and 2 all having different backgrounds. So they have it all neatly bundled up here. Oh, I can see we don't have these unlocked, unfortunately, but that's okay. I can always come back and play through these and listen to the developer commentary on my own time. But for now, I think that's going to have to be it for this episode, guys. So thank you for sticking around with me as we went over this amazing game here. Yep, still kicking. Still got such a thriving community after 20 years that I am very proud to have been a part of and still being a part of. Including if you reach... Oh, I got a hidden achievement there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, very proud to have been part of this very thriving community that's been around for so many years, including indeed the TF2 community, which is still going on strong after so much time. Where a game is 20 years old now, it's still as fun as ever to play. To any new people watching this who have never played this before, I highly recommend playing through this absolute classic banger of a game. Even checking out Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2 if you can, if you have the time anyways. I would highly recommend doing it now, since this game is, from what I heard, free to play for the time being. Of course, I've already bought this game many years ago, so that doesn't really matter for me, but just saying, for those of you who are new to this and watching, yeah, go and check it out. Definitely be sure to check out the developer commentary as well, because that is definitely something that is pretty cool in its own right. Even after so many years, if you like hearing Gabe and Newell spitting facts and other cool little details about the game, then go on right ahead. And yeah, we've come a long way, man. It's been an honor. Half-Life 2, happy 20th anniversary. Yes, well done. About that beer I owed you. Cheers. Alright, well, that's going to be about it for today, everyone. Thank you for sticking with me on this very special episode. Coming back to this amazing game. I'll be sure to play through this again at some point on my own time while listening to all the new developer commentary and other new stuff that they had. But in the meantime, this is going to have to be about it for today, everyone. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Again, if you like the video as well as the other ones I upload here, then don't forget to drop a like, comment, or subscribe, as I upload videos almost every day. So be sure to hit that bell and get those juicy notifications. Be sure to stay tuned for next time to get to some more awesome games, such as this one. Yes. So finally, it's been an honor. But this is Endemic Wing 77 signing off. And as always, take care, everyone. Goodbye.